Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Oleg again. You haven't seen me for a while. After Google Plus demise, I kind of went into hiding a little bit and hoping they would be resurrected at some point, but that never happened. So right now, I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos and talking about the tech again, like I used to do when Google Plus was around. YouTube's still around. Hopefully, they're not going to shut that down either. And so you'll see me more if you're interested. Today, I want to talk about an absolutely revolutionary piece of software called Descript. And lately, I've gotten into a lot of AI stuff, which I'm absolutely thrilled with. And it's a absolute game changer for a lot of businesses, just about every business, actually. And this particular piece of software called Descript is, in my opinion, one of the best things you can use for editing video because you can do it actually editing video and audio because you can do it with incredible amount of ease and at the same time major capabilities compared to how we used to edit videos. So I'm not going to go through every little feature, every little option because that would take too long. I'm just going to go give you a basic rundown on basic features so you can get into it quickly and then you can go from there. Okay, so with that out of the way, if you will decide that you want to pick up Descript and start using it yourself, definitely you can do so. There's going to be a link in the description below the video, somewhere down there, and you'll be able to get your own copy and start working with it. So number one, they have a web version and they also have a desktop version. It just desktop is a little bit faster and a little bit easier. So I'm going to bring up the desktop version. So I bring up the desktop version of Descript and it looks something like this. And it says sign into Descript. So I'm going to sign in. Initially, obviously, you're going to have to register and go through the usual deal. But in this case, this is good enough. I'm going to use my Google account and my Google account. And there's the script. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're not going to edit anything here. I'm just going to show you how you can do something if you haven't done anything before. When it comes up with this initial screen, they divide all the stuff you do in the script into projects. And then you can subdivide projects into smaller chunks. And so there's a couple of different things that you can do. We're not going to go through all of this again today. There's lots of capabilities, simple stuff. So the simplest thing you can do is you can create a new project. And right here, it says you can create an audio project or video project. And so in our case, we're going to create a video project. And we can literally start working on something brand new from here. So that's one way to do it. Okay. And another way to do it is just to import a existing video, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a video. I'm going to drag it right in here. And it'll give it a few seconds to pull it in. It says, do you want to transcribe? Yeah, let's transcribe it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put in speaker name. I'll explain in a minute why that's important. That would be me, and it'll be in English. And after it does a little bit of its own setup initially, basically we're ready to go. So you can see it takes very little time to just pull the video in, answer a couple of quick questions, and just get going. If you want to change the name of the video, you can change it up here. You can make it, and you can call it anything you want. While it's preparing everything, let's quickly go through the sections here. On the left side here, you have what they call scenes. So you can break down your video into multiple scenes, and then you can do different things with different scenes. So think of it as a little guide, a visual guide to all your pieces of video. And then on the second panel here, you have text, and that's basically where the transcription of my video came from. So the script application will actually transcribe from video, taking the audio that's there and convert it to text and show it right here. Okay. The main area here, I shouldn't say the main, is the next area, is what they call canvas. This is where your actual video resides. And you can adjust these areas by dragging these bars here and there. So you can make them different sizes. On the right side, you have usually something that's context sensitive, depending what other options you use. And we'll go through that shortly here. And then on the bottom, you have a timeline, and you have a similar situation like you have in normal editors where you can see waveforms and things like that. and different layers. It's the same thing with here in Descript, but you can actually shrink it down like that so you can't even see it, or you can bring it all the way up so you can see everything in much bigger view. So it's just totally up to you how much you want to see at any point in time. It doesn't matter when it comes to editing video in terms of where these things are. Okay. So I'm going to actually go open it full screen here, and it'll be a little bit easier to work with it. So we've got some other icons here. As you can see, we have a little icon here. We have a search icon here. We have the magic icon here, which we'll go through and see in a minute. And this is essentially ready to go. So if you look at the text, let's play the video a little bit first. It's a 2-minute video. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So we'll record a little video here to see. Yeah. So we'll go to the PCS website first. Okay, so you can see I stopped for a while, and that's something obviously you don't want to have in videos. So usually when we did stuff before, you would have to go in, you have to cut different pieces, move things around. It's a pain in the butt, to put it mildly. Luckily, the geniuses at Descript, what they did was they put together this little pull down. That's the first thing I usually do. So I bring in the video, step 1. Step 2, it converts it to text, or it transcribes it basically. Step 3, I click on this little magic icon, and it says shorten word gaps. So if I click there, it's going to find all the places where I have gaps of 2 seconds or more. And if however many it finds, I can shorten them all by just clicking and making them so they are no more than 1 second long. And all I have to do is just click on shorten all, and it does its thing. I close the window. Now we don't have any big gaps. They are more than a couple of seconds long. You can adjust those values as you see fit. So that's the one thing I do. Second thing I do is you click on the same thing. They have an option called remove filler words. And if you look at the text, you can see I said there's all these ums and ahs and things like that, which nobody wants to have in the video. But that's the way most people talk, including myself. So I want to get rid of them. So instead of just going editing, I'm going to pull this down here and click on remove filler words. And it says I found 7 or more. I guess if it's 7 or more, then you can upgrade to Pro. Let's just use my account here. I'm just going to say remove them all. And now all these ums and everything are gone. So if I play the video again, 1, and away we go. So we'll record a little video here to see. Yeah. So we'll go to the PCS website first. So I don't have to talk about myself in a third person. I can just have the computer do it. See, no us, no ums, nothing. All those are gone. And the video obviously is synchronized perfectly like it was before. On this part here where there was a little bit of a break here. So it says, when I click on the text, so we'll record a little video here to see. Okay. And after to see, it took, it wasn't a few seconds long, but it was enough to be too long for my taste. So what you can do down below here, you see the text. I can just grab the beginning of this area with text, bring it closer. And now when I play it back, it sounds like this. Talk about myself in a third person. A bit further here. So we'll record a little video here to see. Yeah. So we'll go to see much faster. So same thing you can do with any of these sections here. You can just grab and move things in and out. But in the meantime, the video, if you watch my face, you can see it's perfectly synchronized. The PCS website first. Okay. So that's the part of the flow I usually do. You bring in the doc, you immediately get rid of some extra spaces, get rid of fillers automatically. Done deal. Next thing that happens is you actually do editing. That's what's so revolutionary about this program, is you actually edit the video as you would edit a text document, like a word processing document. Because you can see I'm not doing anything in the video itself. I'm just looking at the text and making changes to the text. So here we go. So we'll record a little video here to see. Yeah. So we'll go to the PCS website first. So I don't have to talk about myself in a third person. I can just have the computer do it. So we'll go to move myself up a little bit. And we have a little chat bot here. Okay. So over here, it says we record a little video here to yeah. I don't want to do the yeah. I mean, that's not professional to do in the video. So I'm going to put the cursor here, get rid of this yeah. Like that. And let's get rid of this one too. Okay, so now it's gone. So now if I record a little video here to see, so we'll go to the PCS website first. Okay, so as you can see, it's gone. It's perfectly fine in the video, but these yeahs are gone. The problem now I have is I said, so we'll record a little video here to see, and I said, so we'll go to PCS. Obviously, sounds weird. So I think I'm going to pull out this record a little video here. I'm going to pull out this whole sentence, but I'm not going to delete it. I'm just going to have it highlighted. And then there's an option here at the top called ignore, which is like a strike through. And what that does, it does essentially the same thing. If I play the video back, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So we'll go to the PCS. See, it just jumped immediately from here to there. Again, everything is perfectly synced. So I'm not touching the video, but it's all being edited as we speak. But the fact that I have this text still here, although it's not in the video anymore, it means I can now undo if I wanted to, and I can have this back again if I change my mind later. So that's what that thing is for. You could delete it if you wanted to, and it would be just fine, okay? Now, the next thing that I want to show real quick is that in addition to being able to delete and edit video like this, so you can delete anything and everything, another thing you can do is, for example, over here, it starts with, this one is called Insight Nexus. And let's see what we're going to do here. Oh yeah. So let's say that this paragraph, for example, in my case, it does actually, but let's say it didn't belong here. All I have to do is hit Control X after selecting it to get rid of it. And then I can simply jump down here and do Control V to paste it just like a word processor would. And now the video sounds like this. Here to do it. So we'll go to move myself up a little bit, and we have a little chat bot here. I'm sorry, I meant to say a bunch of different sentences, not words. And clearly it does a really nice job, and it's called Insight Nexus. It's a chatbot for small businesses that's actually smart. If you want to see what we do, you click on the what services that PCS provide. This one is called Insight Nexus. And okay, so it's totally seamless for the most part. I mean, yes, there's a little bit of a video jump, but other than that, nobody could even tell the difference that I actually moved part of the video from top to the bottom this easily. And you can do this all day long. You can move things around as much as you want. So you can copy things, you can paste things. If I wanted to have this video repeated twice, I could copy this using Control C, and then I could paste it. So I have now 2 identical paragraphs. So if we're playing it here, who is Oleg, for example? See if it's smart enough to figure out. There we go, right there. Comes up with all the stuff. And you can see it's got a bunch of different words in there. This one is called Insight Nexus. And let's see what we're going to do here. Oh, yeah. So we can say something like, let's say, who is Oleg, for example? You can see it's doing it without missing a beat. I mean, it's completely, totally as if this video was created like this with these sections being there twice. Like a lot of people do videos where they say in the beginning that show a little bit of a highlight of what's going to come later, and then they show it later as well. So this is how easy it is to do something like that. Very, very simple. So you can delete things, you can copy paste things, very, very simple. And at the same time, what you can do is I can actually highlight a couple of paragraphs, for example. Let's say I wanted to highlight these 2 paragraphs here. And then what I can do is I can duplicate it to a new composition. As I mentioned in the beginning, you have projects, and within projects, you can have multiple compositions. You can have none, but you can have 1 or more compositions. And this is simply means it's part of the same project, but it's just a different area. And then we can just jump up here and jump into this new composition. And now we have nothing but this video here. I'm sorry, I meant to say a bunch of different sentences, not words. And clearly it does a really nice job. As you can see, everything is synced, video, everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. And of course I can jump easily to the original full video itself and continue editing there. So that's how you edit and how you can create additional pieces from existing compositions. Another thing, we'll quickly go over a few more things that I do all the time when I do these videos is when you click on the actual canvas anywhere, then the options on the right side change. And one of the things you can do is what they call studio sound. That cleans up the sound. It's just a toggle. You click on it and it turns it on, and then it starts cleaning up the sound. It says right there, applying studio sound to the script. You can continue working. It'll do its thing. And then eventually when it starts spinning here, it'll be all done. But you can continue working, doing something else. Ducking is a capability where when you have audio that's fairly high and then somebody speaking on top of that, say music track or something, then it'll automatically lower the volume so you can hear the speaker better. That's what ducking does, which is very, very useful. And they have a bunch of other features and capabilities. One of the nice things is to be able to, for example, do transitions. So when you're sitting in the beginning of a scene or a section right here, you can just click on transitions, select in, and you can select any of these transitions. Let's say we want to do a fade in. So that's going to be like that. And then also if you click on it again, you have an option to, if you click on transition again, you have an option to do a fade out right there. So you have both fade in and fade out. And now when you play the video, you can see it does nice fade in.
3, 2, 1, and away we go.
There, and it'll fade out at the end. So very slick to be able to do that. At the same time, pretty simple. You got a bunch of different things you can do, like effects that you may or may not want to use. You have things like backgrounds where you can actually change the background to be, a particular color, for example, in your video, which is also kind of useful. So a bunch of different options. You can kind of go through them and check it out. One of the very useful things also is you're able to bring in additional things into your video. Like, for example, let's say I wanted to bring in a logo. So what I will do is I will go up here to this little icon at the top left, and I'm going to look for file. In my case, it's going to be on Google Drive and something to do with PCS logo. I'll just use this one, for example. So I select the logo, and now it looks like this, and I say add it as a new layer. So now it's a transparent logo. Obviously, it's up a lot more room than I want, so I can easily then go and just simply shrink it down to be more of a size that I want, and I can move it then over here to this side. And now, so the video will have it all the way. If you look at the timeline here, you can see that it added additional layer here, which is my logo, and it extends all the way from beginning to end. By default, that's what it does, which is pretty handy. The only problem with this logo right now is as you play the video and it starts doing things, then the logo becomes obscured like that. And so that's one problem. Second problem is that I don't want the logo to stand out that much, even if it's not obscured. So the way this is handled is by, when you click on it, you have an option here called opacity, which is 100%. I usually try to do watermarks at like 30%. And now if you play it, you will see my logo is very much subdued.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, and away we go.
Okay, so that's fine. Another thing you could do is do an effect, like let's say we wanted to do an animation. So what I can do is I can actually click on animation, click on plus, and instead of coming up with zoom and pan or anything else, I'm just going to do custom. When I created this animation, it put up a couple of icons here. So what I can do is I can actually take the second one, move it to be somewhere out of the way here, and it shows you where it's going to be. And then from the first one, I can tell it that I want opacity to be 100%. So we start out full 100% opacity, so it's fully visible. And then when we get done, let's say we go down all the way to, let's get down to like 20%, for example. So now what happens is if we play the video, if we jump back and play the video again, you will see the
3, 2, 1, and away we go. So we'll go to the PCS website first.
Perfectly. Grasses,
so I don't have to
it'll
talk
start
about
fading
myself
away
in the third person. I can just have the computer do it. So we'll go to move
it's
myself.
It's hard to tell here, but it actually is fading
and
away.
We have a little
it's
chat
fade away
here.
more and more. And by the time we get done,
sorry, I meant to say a bunch of
opacity.
different sentences, not words.
You can see up here
and
it's changing.
Clearly, it does a really nice job.
Slowly getting more and more opaque.
And it's called Instant Chatbot for small businesses. That's actually smart. And you can, if you want to see what we do, you click on the what services that PCS provide. This one is called Insight Nexus.
Not 30, 20%. And
Let's see what we're going to do
So
here.
that's another thing you can do.
Oh, yeah.
Which
so
is
we
kind of
can
handy
say
to make it a
something
little
like,
bit
let's
more,
say,
jazz it up a little bit.
who is Oleg?
Let's go ahead and stop this. And let's see. Whenever a new version of Descript comes out, you usually get a little notification like this. And you can just simply click restart. So it restarts the application. And of course, it's going to know exactly where it was and everything else. So you're not losing anything at all. Another nice thing about Descript, you don't have to worry about saving anything. You just get out and it's done. Very nice. It's really well thought out the way it's done, and pretty simple to get going with it, as you can see, editing it. And here it's coming back. And so once you import something, do the editing through text, do some of these additional things if you want, like fade outs and things like that, add potentially watermark or some other graphics. You can also use the same approach to add additional information, such as additional video. Let's say over here at this point, I wanted to add a video. What I can do and create a new scene by clicking on the slash, and that you can see right here, it creates an additional box here. It means it's another scene. And for this whole scene, I'm going to start here, and let's say I'm going to finish it down here. So we actually have a scene from here to here. As you've seen before, I inserted my watermark, but in addition to that, I can also insert videos and GIFs and images and audio, all kinds of different things I can add. So like if you want a music track, you can add it from here, or sound effects. But let's say we wanted to add a video. You just simply click on the video. And now what it's going to do is going to show you a ton of videos that Descript has available for you at no additional cost. So if you wanted to select a video like this one, for example, so somewhere at the cost, somewhere or not, I can just stretch it all the way so it takes the entire display. And now I'm going to go ahead and play the video. This one is called Insight Nexus. And let's see what we're going to do here. Oh, yeah. So we can say something like, let's say, so as you can see, it underlined, made these lines blue because it's processing it.
Figure out.
And it should quit as soon as it gets to the end here. Comes up with all this stuff. And you can see it's got a bunch of different words in there. This one is called Insight Nexus. See, it's right back to, and let's see what we're going to do here. And it's right back to my video. So if you have a piece of video, you want to insert additional video, that's as simple as that. You just drag something from there. If you wanted to insert an image, you just go to pull down here for images. And if you want to look at, photos, or, for example, let's say we wanted to insert a photo somewhere in here. By the way, it doesn't have to be beginning of paragraph. I can put the scene right at this point, and let's say we end it here. And so then I'm going to go ahead and select this scene and grab an image, and you can just drag it to where you want to go. It knows, because of where you put the scenes, what it's going to do. So when you let go, it's just going to put it right there. And now there it is. And you just adjust the size accordingly. Drag it as far as you need to drag it. Make sure it fits, adjust it like that. And now we have an image that will only play for this one part. So if we go back to here and we play it, the answer is right there. Very slick. Okay, so with that done, what can we do now? Not exactly sure here. Oh, yeah. I remember what I'm going to do. Okay, let's do that. So what we do is we create highly customized business solutions. No. Let's just say we do IT support. No. Okay. So you can see, obviously, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to be edited. So I would actually get rid of this whole entire section in terms of words first before putting images. But you saw the effect of how it works in terms of being able to do video, being able to overlay regular images. Very convenient. You can add music track to it. You can adjust where it's going to be positioned via the timeline here. I mean, it's a lot of capabilities. So again, trying to keep it simple, bring things in, make some text changes, maybe add some additional graphics and stuff, and then you're basically done with the video. When you get done, you click on publish. And then when you click on publish, you can publish it to the web. You can also publish it to YouTube, all of these different basically places where people publish videos. if you want, or you can just simply download it to your disk by clicking on the download button. That's what I usually do, is download. And so then it creates an MP4 file for you that has all the information there. You can give it a name. I'm going to call it the same name that I had before. And just save it as that. And so you can see it now does this rendering. Usually takes it about a minute or so. It just depends on the length of the video. So some things will be longer, some things will be shorter. One other thing you can do with this is when you record meetings with people, it's able to work on multiple streams of recording at the same time. So they also have this service called SquadCast.fm that they purchased, and you can use them together. It doesn't cost anything extra to do what they call remote recording. And so it gives you much better quality audio in the end, whether you're using podcast or video, doesn't matter. And at the same time, you don't lose anything. Even if your connection goes bad or severs at one point in time, it'll keep everything on your local computer. And then when it gets done, it's going to go ahead and upload it to the cloud. So squadcast.fm, I'm going to put that in the link below as well, below the video, and certainly use that to make your recordings. Once everything is done and your file is ready and published, you're ready to actually use it in public, wherever you want to put it. And one last thing I was going to mention, which just came out a couple of days ago, actually, is ability to take any video and actually have it be translated to any language. So case in point, this is how it works. I'm going to go ahead and basically close Descript here. And I'm going to go and jump into ElevenLabs.io. And that's a phenomenal service. And so if you go to ElevenLabs.io/dubbing, that's their new capability, which allows you to create videos in your voice, but any language. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new dub. I'm going to call it Oleg Speaks Russian. So you heard my Russian accent. Now you can actually listen to me talking in Russian, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have the computer do it. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to take English. I'm going to switch it into Russian, but you can see all these languages you can actually use. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and upload the video here. Let's see if we can do this right there. And I'm going to click create. And so it's going to do its thing. Obviously, depending on the length and everything else will determine how well it'll do it and how long it's going to take. But typically, it doesn't take too long. So we'll see how long it takes to do this one. And over here, it says creating. So you just basically do this and you let it rip. It does its thing. And then it'll create a new MP4 file for you, which will be the same video, but the audio part will be in the language you've selected. So whatever you were saying on the audio obviously gets translated into the language you've selected. And now everybody hears nothing but that in that language. If you don't think this is mind-blowing, I personally do. I think it's just amazing that they can do this kind of stuff with this level of ease. So if I play it now, let's see if it's actually going to start doing it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So we'll record a little video here to see. Okay, so you can see that if you play it at this point, it's going to play original version, which was in English. Still my accent, but in English. Let's wait until it gets done. And then once it gets done, we'll play the final version. So looking at the display here, looks like we've got 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. While it's doing its processing, we'll wait for a bit and then we'll resume after it gets done. Okay, so looks like it got done. Let's jump into the file here and see what it did.
Перейдем на веб-сайт PCS, заставить компьютер.
Okay, so with that being the case, I cannot tell you how amazing it is to be able to do this, especially because of the fact that I understand the language, so I can actually hear how well it did the translation. The second mind-blowing thing is actually doing it sounds like me. It actually sounds like me, which is just unbelievable. So there's that. And so over here, if we want to do one more from the same video, I'm going to go ahead and grab the same video, drop it in here. I'm going to put in Oleg now speaks French. And we're going to say that this is in English. You can see it can auto detect too, but let's switch to French. Actually, let's do Spanish. Let's do Spanish because I don't speak Spanish other than hola and cómo está. And let's go ahead and do this in Spanish. And let's just go ahead and create. Let's see what the options are here. Number of speakers would be 1. So you can change this if you want. It figures everything out automatically, but you can have some of these additional things. And yeah, let's just do that. So it's going to do its thing. Okay. And we'll get back after a few minutes after it's done and see how I sound in Spanish. Okay, looks like it just got done. Let's go ahead and download it. As you can see, it takes a few minutes, but it doesn't take that long. So let's go ahead and open it. En tercera persona, puedo hacer que la computadora lo haga. Así que subiré un poco. Y tenemos un pequeño chatbot aquí. Se llama Inside Nexus. Y veamos qué vamos a hacer aquí. Oh, sí, entonces podemos decir algo como, digamos, quién es Oleg, por ejemplo. Veamos si es lo suficientemente inteligente para descifrarlo. Ahí vamos, justo ahí. Me parece con todas las cosas. Okay, you get the idea. Pretty incredible, if you ask me. So that's the new service from ElevenLabs called Dubbing. It allows you to do that. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please feel free to share it with your friends and anybody else you think might benefit from this. To quickly go through Descript one more time, to recap before we finish it, you open up Descript, you open up whatever file you want to work on. And then once it opens it up, it'll ask you to transcribe it. If it's not transcribed yet, let it transcribe, let it do its thing. When it gets done, just use the text as the editing a Word document to edit it as you see fit. Get rid of all the junk that shouldn't be there, things like that. In terms of inserting things, if you're asking a question, okay, what if I want to insert something as opposed to getting rid of stuff? That's doable, a little more complicated. They have a service that allows you to record voices, and you can then insert something in somebody's voice. That's why at the beginning here, it was asking who is the person, who is the speaker. So that's a separate topic. Can be done. For now, just stick with what you have. Get rid of the stuff that was bad. Adjust the spacings, get rid of arms, things like that. And that's basically will put you in a good spot. If you need to insert some images or shapes, you can insert shapes from here. You can insert images, videos, and everything else from here. You can adjust some of the things on the right side if you need to, but for the most part, that's basically the whole flow. And then when you get done, you simply click on Publish. You click on the download button to the right of Publish to get the file downloaded to your drive, or you can upload it to YouTube or anywhere else. And that's basically it. Again, thanks for taking the time. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. And we will meet again soon, hopefully. Take care.